Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. We're being told by promoter Ben Shalom that his charge, Chris Eubank Jr., is once again in preliminary negotiations with Canelo Alvarez. He said, I think Canelo knows that if he's to box in the UK, which he is attracted to for the sake of his legacy, then Eubank is the only opponent who could generate the sort of numbers that he'd want and the spectacle he'd want. Obviously, that Canelo fight was close last time, as in close to being signed last time. I believe that's a fight that interests Canelo. You can imagine the press conference in the UK and the US, it will be absolutely huge. I think Canelo needs dance partners, but he also needs stars. I don't think his last couple of opponents have been the biggest stars, and Chris Eubank Jr.'s certainly a big star. If he's ever going to fight in the UK, that's the fight, and that would sell out Wembley Stadium. That's number one on the list for me. Those are the words of Ben Shalom. He says, small conversations have begun for this Canelo Eubank Jr. fight. I've said on numerous occasions in the past in other videos, ever since that loss to Dimitri Bivol, Canelo no longer seems interested in taking on serious challenges, top opposition. Instead, he wants to do this victory lap thing, get all his flowers without taking any more risks, bringing people up from several weight divisions below. Yeah, he did fight Berlanga, he did fight Munguia, but they weren't David Benavidez. They weren't even David Morrell, who are fighting each other, by the way, in the weight division above. It seems anyway. So Canelo's pretty shameless now. I mean, he's done shameless things in his career throughout, intermittently, but he was also fighting real tough opposition in years gone by. From Golovkin to Danny Jacobs, Sergey Kovalev, Mayweather obviously, Erislandy Lara in his prime, etc, etc. But right now, it's only cherry picks. There's no more tough opposition at all. When I say tough, I'm not saying that they're not physically tough. You know, Berlanga and Munguia are very physically tough, but they're not top draw in terms of their fighting ability or their boxing ability, right? So it wouldn't shock me at all if Canelo Alvarez were to fight Chris Eubank Jr. next. Now, Eddie Hearn has gone on record as saying that the previous bout of negotiations between Canelo and Eubank Jr. were just a bluff on Canelo's part, because he was also negotiating with Edgar Berlanga. And so according to Eddie Hearn, he thinks that all the talk of fighting Eubank Jr. instead was to force Berlanga's hand, to get him to accept the offer that was on the table rather than demanding more. And that might have been the case then, I don't know. But in this instance, whose hand would Canelo be trying to force? There's nobody else at 168 right now in terms of names that Canelo could fight. As I say, Benavidez has moved up. Now, Chris Eubank Jr., of course, is not at 168, but he can be tomorrow. He has fought at 168 in the past, and Canelo's been bringing fighters up all the way from junior middleweight to face him, like when he fought Charlo. So it wouldn't shock me if this fight were to happen. And how do I see it going? I think it would be like taking candy from a baby for Canelo Alvarez. He's the far superior boxer. He's naturally heavier, stronger, better defense, takes a better shot, more accurate. Eubank Jr. might have him on speed, but Canelo's seen speed before. For me, it would be a monumental upset of titanic proportions if Eubank Jr. beat Canelo. That would be crazy, because he's shown nothing in his career to date to convince me that he's got anything more than, let's say, a 5% chance, 10% chance at best. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Will Ben Shalom's dream come true? Will Eubank Jr.'s dream come true? Because he's been talking about this fight for years. He says he believes he can win it. Maybe he does, but maybe he's just looking for a big cash out payday. Who knows? Anyway, make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And before I go, make sure you check out this nearly 3-hour career review I've done on Riddick Bowe, where I show actual video footage of his fights from the Lennox Lewis Olympic bout in 1988 all the way through his pro career. I talk about his style, the backstory behind a lot of the fights, the context of the time, the way the media saw Riddick Bowe, the way the fans saw him, the way he was portrayed, the ups and downs in his career, the highs and lows, the good performances, the bad. I analyze his style, his different attributes and what have you. As I say, it's nearly 3 hours long. It's getting great feedback, so make sure you check it out.